This verse is our goal for this whole series about the type of love and relationship that we're looking for in a dating relationship. We talked about what the two most important decisions of your life were, and that's the decision to receive Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, because every other decision flows from that. And then the second biggest is the process you use to choose who you're going to spend your life with. It's not just who you're going to spend the rest of your life with, it's the process, because the process changes you and who you are. It helps shape and mold you. We then talked about the 7 habits of highly defective dating. The first one last week was dating leads to intimacy, but not necessarily to commitment. This means that people can get real close, but they never have that commitment knowing that, oh, this is going to last forever. It could be broken and torn apart in an instant. Number 2 was dating tends to skip the friendship stage of a relationship. Share with you guys the Frozen clip. Share with you a little bit about my first dating relationship that I had and how we skipped the friendship stage and things ended terribly. Not just in a relationship aspect, but also in a life aspect as well. Because relationships, it's not just one thing, it affects our entire lives. And then the third was dating often mistakes a physical relationship for love. Just because lips have met doesn't mean hearts have joined. Just because physical things are happening in a relationship doesn't mean that it is a healthy relationship. And we don't want to mistake and go, oh, just because something physical is happening, that means that true love is there. In fact, I find that true love is more likely to exist in a place where physical things are not happening yet. So we're going to move on today with number 4. Before we get to number 4, I have a video that I want to share with you guys.
Blimey Cow presents 10 ways your relationship is annoying your friends. Okay, so here's what happens. You get yourself a significant other and all your friends are like, aww. But then 2 weeks later, they're like, ugh. And usually for a good reason. You're too infatuated to notice it, but you're actually becoming really annoying. And I know you're gonna say,
he's not talking about us.
No, he must mean those other couples.
Yeah.
nope, I definitely mean you. But you can make sure that your friends don't hate you by avoiding these 10 things in your relationships. Too many pictures. I want to punch Photo Booth in the face every time my friends get into a new relationship. Oh my gosh, we've been dating for like 2 seconds. You know what that means. Couple selfies! Constant relationship play-by-play. These kinds of posts make me weep. Openly.
Today we've been dating for 2 months. I love you, baby.
I do not care. Nobody cares except you. And that one idiot who always comments on your post and says, oh my gosh, has it really been 2 months? I am so happy for you guys. Talk about your significant other all the time.
Did you know that my girlfriend likes Mumford & Sons? So hot.
Did you know that my boyfriend doesn't listen to pop music? He says it's too generic.
Yeah, so's your life. Creating lovey-dovey music playlists that contain every pop and country love song ever! Oh, but make sure that you keep your Taylor Swift and Adele playlist handy. You're gonna need those in like 3 weeks. We could have had it all! In the D! Attached at the hip. These are the couples who are always together even when they're not together. Bye, I love you.
Love you too, bye.
Oh, I'll FaceTime you. I miss you so much, I can't wait to see you next. Attached at the lips. I know it's impossible to imagine anything of importance ever happening without your significant other being within a 2-inch radius of you. But for the sake of those that have to be around you, maybe branch out a little. Is 4 inches too much to ask? I mean, these people don't even have to be kissing and I'm uncomfortable. Posting across the table pictures. You know the ones I'm talking about. And the caption always says, this girl is so beautiful. Breakfast with this awesome guy. So blessed. Forget all the friends you ever had prior to having a relationship. Bye, I love you.
Bye, love you too.
Whoa, who are you?
I'm your brother. I've been standing here the whole time.
I have a brother? I thought I had a girlfriend. Cute nicknames for each other. If you've ever wondered how many times your friends have thrown up in their mouths a little bit, just count the number of times you've called your significant other a pet name. Hey, Cupcake.
Hey, sweetie.
I love you, Muffin.
I love you too, handsome.
Oh, I just want you to be as happy as I am. Oh. Hey, people in a relationship, stop trying to hook your single friends up. If being in a relationship is really that great, then spend more time enjoying your relationship and stop butting in on your friends' relationships. I just want you to be as happy as I am.
I am happy.
No, you're not, because you don't have a girlfriend, so you can't be happy.
Maybe I don't want a relationship right now.
Oh my word, you are so stupid. You have to have a girlfriend to be happy. Let me fix you. The end. So now do you see the torment that you've been putting your friends through? It turns out they're actually not jealous of you. They just want you to shut up. I hope this has been revealing and enlightening. And I hope that the next time that you're making out with your BF or GF that you've only known for like 2 weeks, that you'll look around and say, hey, we're in public. This is absolutely disgusting.
Dating often isolates a couple from other vital relationships. You guys aren't going to have many blanks or things to fill in tonight, but your first one there is isolates. Have you ever had friends who have moved further away from you when they got a boyfriend or a girlfriend? I noticed that when we had that question on the board, that was one of the big things that you guys said, was that they always pay attention to their significant other, but it's like, who the heck are you? You used to have a friend, they were always over at your house, then they get a girlfriend and you never see them again. They break up and then they're hanging out with you all over again, but then they get another girlfriend and they disappear. When I was in college, I started off with 2 roommates. We were in a triple, so there was 3 of us. Me, Chris, and Alex. And everything is cool. We're hanging out together, we're going to classes together, we go to meals together, just having fun. It's great. And then 3 weeks into the semester, Alex starts dating Jacqueline. And Alex disappeared. He was never found again. The police searched for, just kidding. Your faces were great. No, but Alex did kind of disappear. He and Jacqueline disappeared from the rest of the world. They lived in a bubble separate from the rest of their friends and everyone else that they knew. This happened with many other friends I had in college. It's like they're there and then they get a boyfriend or girlfriend and then you never see them because they're always hanging out with them and they're never hanging out with their friends again. Dating is living your own life with that other person. There's no one else really involved in the relationship. Society tells you that you only really need one person to be complete, to be whole, to be happy. Once you find Mr. and Mrs. Right, you don't need anybody else. But that's not true at all. It's a lie. God has designed us to be in relationships with lots of different people. He gave us each other so that we could have friends. Some people have a lot of friends. Some people have a few. But we weren't designed to have a relationship with only one person. We have friends, we have neighbors, we go to church with one another. We should meet other people. When people start dating, they frequently start ignoring their friends and living in a bubble separate from others. Did you have a question? We're going to mention this later on, but exceptions make poor rules, and they are definitely an exception, being the first ever. And by the way, what were they told to do? Multiply, make more people. So they weren't supposed to live just by themselves for the rest of their life. I have a verse for you. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Plans go wrong with too few counselors. Many counselors bring success. If you want to write just Proverbs 15:22 in that blank space under that note, you can do that. The whole idea is that when 2 people are just living in each other's world, just the 2 of them, they tend not to hear the other voices around them. They don't know the things that are wrong. They don't see everything that is an issue because they have already isolated themselves from the rest of the world. And when they do that, things usually don't turn out well. I frequently find that when new dating relationships or situationships start, couples cut themselves off from other people. Most of the time, it isn't intentional. It's something that just happens. They don't go, you're all I need and I'm all you need, and let's ignore my friends and you can ignore your friends because we don't need them anymore. Like that doesn't happen. It's more of a priority thing. It's where the couple gets so wrapped up in each other that their friends are no longer as high a priority in their life as the person that they're dating. Even if they've only been together for a few weeks. And so everyone else is pushed out as they bring in the person that is close to them. One of the first things that I like to do in investigating the health of a relationship. And remember, when we started off at the very beginning, we talked about the love that we're looking for and how it is something that we want to test and actually see if it is genuine and good. And so whenever I see a relationship, if someone were to ask me, what do you think of us? One of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their friends. I'm going to go up and I'm going to ask them, so what do you think of Bobby and Sally? Well, he never talks to me anymore. He's not getting the things done that he used to get done. I go to Bobby and Sally and ask them about their relationship. They go, it's wonderful. We're so happy together. But their friends think the relationship sucks. If one of their friends goes up to Bobby or Sally and they say, I don't know if you knew this, but you're kind of ignoring me and your other friends. You aren't hanging out with us at all. What is Bobby going to say? Oh, I see. You're just jealous. You wish that you had what we have. Someone goes to Sally and says, hey, Sally, you haven't been around much. It also looks like your grades are slipping at school. You don't have enough time to be in the school play or play softball with us anymore. We think you're spending too much time with Bobby and not on things that are more important. Sally's going to go, you don't understand. You just don't understand me and what I need in my life. You're just judging me and you don't want us to be together. They've isolated themselves from the rest of the world and they're only looking at one another. And because of that, they have a bad perception of everything else that is going on and the actual health of their relationship. Why? Because they've isolated themselves. They are blind to what is actually going on because they're living in a bubble. Number 5, dating in many instances distracts young people from their primary purpose, to prepare for the future. I want to let you know the reason why I am here, the reason why I am a youth pastor, and I've been doing it for over 17 years, is because I want to see the ultimate potential in each and every one of you. My job is to prepare you for your ultimate potential. I want to let you know that I think that is only possible through Jesus because he's the one that makes everything possible, and he's the one that makes everything good, and mankind, well, kind of messed things up. I was having a conversation with Pastor Chris this past week. He said, people are going to do what people do best. I said, well, what's that? It's sin. We are constantly messing things up. We're constantly screwing things up. And so when we go to Jesus, he gives us the grace and the ability to redeem things, to make them new. And I believe that's true when it comes to every aspect in our lives. But as I've been pastoring for over 17 years, I see this happen frequently as I want people to reach their ultimate potential. There's a boy, he has plans. I'm going to do this when I get older. I'm going to go to this school. I'm going to study this thing. There's an internship I want to do. I want to do that. And then I'm going to get a job in this field doing the thing that I love. I have a plan. This is what it's going to be. And then boy gets girlfriend. He starts to question his plan. Well, I want to do this and go to school here, but that's really a long way from girlfriend. Maybe I can go here instead. It's not exactly what I want, but it's closer to girlfriend, so I think that'll work. And what ends up happening is they start to compromise their life's plans for the girl. By the way, I've seen girls do this as well, where they compromise for the boy. They give up on the main thing of their future so that they can work their boyfriend into more of their life. We will talk about this later on in the series, but I'm of the belief that God has an absolute best for each and every one of you. I want you to understand that. God has a best for you. It's not like you're going on aimlessly and God doesn't have anything planned for you and you're like, well, I guess I'll just do something and God's out there. No, God has laid out something beautiful for you that you are going to love and adore, and that is fantastic, and you don't even know what it is yet. Now, God may have placed some things within you that go, I have a passion for this, I want to do this. And as you seek God, he ignites those passions even more, and you're like, this is what I want to do. Each and every one of you has that. He has a purpose, a plan, and good things in store for you to do and be a part of. And guess what? If there's something inside of you that says, I really want to be someone's husband, I really want to be someone's wife, then I believe that God designed you for that, which means that he's going to have you go down a path that he designed just for you. And in that path that you walk on, you are going to run into someone, and then your paths are going to become two separate paths, and they're going to become one, and you're going to walk together. He has a design for you where you don't have to give up the other passions in your life. the other plans, the things that God has called you to. Ephesians talks about how God has prepared good works in advance for us to do. And it's not like, well, I really wanted to do this, but then there's boyfriend. I guess I'll go here because, I don't know, it feels better. No, you can go here, and God has someone for you. Most people say, I want to go down this path now. But she's not on that path. Maybe I can take a detour or move the path around a little bit. I can go off the path a little bit. I just want to have fun now, maybe. I'll get to what my big passions are later. So it's not exactly what I want to do, but I want to be with this person. And then 10 to 15 years later, they look back and they have 3 kids and they say, I hate my job. I don't like where I am. I never wanted to be doing what I'm doing now at all. Or what usually happens is that they break up. But he or she can't go back to where they wanted to be on that original path because time has passed. Opportunities have come and gone. People have changed. Responsibilities have changed in their lives. So you have to settle for something else instead. You can't reach the ultimate best you wanted because you get distracted and you end up going down a different path. You want to go back to what God had for you, but you can't get back to there because you've already went down another way. This is why we're doing this series. From when I was a teenager till now, relationships are the number one thing that I've seen that have knocked people off the path that God has put down for them. Relationships have taken people off the course that God put down for them, the absolute best that God has for them, derailed, all because of relationships. I have this thing, and it's weird because I find myself starting to say things like when I was your age or as I've gone through and I've gotten older, I feel like I'm one of the few 40-some-year-olds that can still communicate to teens. If I'm terrible at it, just let me know and I can quit. But, Miss V, you saying I'm good doesn't count because you're older than me. I'm talking about teens. I want to let you know that you guys are going to get older. And you're going to look at who are like 5-year-olds right now, and they're going to be 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, and you're going to be around the age of 30, and you're going to be looking at them being like, what are you guys doing? You're idiots. I told you before, a couple weeks ago, I wish I could go back in time and tell 15, 16, 17-year-old me everything that I'm telling you right now. Relationships can wreck your life. If you do them correctly, they can add to your life. But your main purpose as teenagers right now is to prepare for the future. God has a great future for each and every one of you. If you trust God, if you put your full faith in Him, then trust that as you go down the path that He puts you on, that God will give you the one that you're supposed to be with. I have a story I want to share with you. So there was a girl in college, and her name was Carolee. Carolee? Red flag. No, not Carol. Ugh, Carol? Oh, what is she, 70 years old? Okay, well, there you go, because she's special. And she was the most amazing woman in the world. Guys, let me tell my story. Wife just spoke. Now, let me go on. Carolee was awesome. We were good friends. We took classes together. I could talk to her about anything. And after a while, I started to pursue her. It was honestly probably about 2 years after we started our relationship as friends that I was like, hey, baby. No, just kidding. I didn't do that. But I was like, I would like to pursue something further with you. By the way, what I'm giving you now, this whole Relationships God's Way series, I got around that time and was starting to put into practice. So I told you how last time we met, Susan, I had none of this and I didn't put any of it into practice and it was awful. But this was the thing about Carolee. I asked her out multiple times. I asked her out multiple times, obviously, because, well, the first time she said no. And the second time she said no. And the third time she said no. She was never feeling it. She never said yes. Maybe I wasn't good looking enough. But this is what I want you to hear. We never compromised our relationship. We were able to stay friends. And I was like this. If she says no to me, and she's so amazing, and the perfect woman I'm obviously supposed to marry, that means that God has someone even better than her for me in my life. And so I could not see at that point, she was the absolute best. There's nobody else. Didn't work. What happened? My faith is in the Lord that he's going to give me what I'm supposed to get, and it's going to be even better than that. And he did. At that time, when she said no, and it was like, well, we're done, and well, not done as in like having a relationship, we were still friends. But I'm like, this is obviously not going to go any further. It's like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do what God has called me to do. I really want you to hear this. I'm going to do what God has called me to do. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to be a youth pastor. I'm going to pour into teens. And so I graduated. I interviewed for a job after I graduated, and I got it. It was about 6 hours away in New York, but that didn't matter. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I was psyched. I was thrilled. I didn't care about girls. I was about 24 years old. I'm about to start my dream job. I'm doing my life. I'm doing what God's called me to. And then in the 3-month time period from when I got offered the job to when I actually started the job, I reconnected with this girl from high school, Katie. We started a serious relationship, and we ended up getting married. Here's the thing. This is very important because you need to understand the history. Remember when we first started the series, I said out of all the relationships I've seen, there are 3 that I know of that started in high school and are still successful. 3. One was someone that I knew in high school, a couple that got together. The other 2 were teens that have been in my youth group. And by the other 2, I mean 4 people, like 2 relationships. So out of the 3 I know, 2 of them practiced the things that I'm giving you. And how many people decide to date before they graduate? With me and Katie, if we tried having a relationship at any other time in the course of history, it wouldn't have worked. I first knew of Katie when I was in 8th grade and she was in 6th grade. She was just another person. I don't know. I knew of her. When I was in 11th grade and she was in 9th grade, we had a class together, and she had a crush on me. But I had no clue. I didn't know at all. I look back and sometimes I say this, what an idiot I was. She was right there the whole time. I was wasting my time on these other girls, which you're going to hear some of those stories later on as we go on. But I'm wasting my time on these other girls when I should have went out with her. Except here's the problem. Remember, it's not about finding the right person. It's the process that you use to find the right person. If we got together in high school, I honestly think that we would not be together today because I was not the man that I needed to be at that time for her. I was not the marriage material that I eventually became later on. In high school, I was not ready. In high school, I definitely was not the man that she fell in love with when I was 24 years old. But from age 16, 17 to age 24, I was a different person. If we got together in high school, somehow stayed together through graduation, I don't know if our relationship would have survived to college because I went to school about 2.5 hours away from when she went to college. Chances are high that one of us would have went to school in a different place just so we could be close to one another. Well, I'm in this relationship with Katie. I don't know if maybe we can, if I go to a different school, we try something else. We didn't go to the same college because God had a different calling on her life. If we were together before then, who knows what we would have done differently. We talk about the fact a lot that if we got together in high school, I would not have looked for a job in New York. Just to be honest with you, Katie's mom, super clingy. Katie was her world. If Katie and I were together before I started looking for a job, there is no way in the world that I would have looked for a job even an hour away from Baltimore. Because mom would be like, you're not taking my baby away from me. That's not happening. It wouldn't even come into my subconscious at all to be like, well, let me just throw out and see what other jobs might be available. I put out my resume in different places, And New York almost immediately was like, hey, what's up? Are you interested? I'm like, yeah, I am. Let's talk. And from there, it just kept on going. They never would have gotten my resume if I was dating someone else, if I was dating Katie, because we're not going to go that far away. It's not going to happen. Which, by the way, means I wouldn't have gotten the job in Syracuse that I got, which means I wouldn't be here with you guys today, because the reason I got the job here is because I used to work with Pastor Chris in Syracuse. Probably about a month after I accepted the position in New York, I reconnected with Katie from high school. I was going to be in Baltimore for a few months before moving and starting the job in New York in the summer. My brother was getting married to one of Katie's friends, and we were both in the wedding. So we started talking, and we started hanging out a lot. I was still preparing to go to Syracuse, New York, though, and nothing was going to stop me. Why? Because my future was in front of me, and I was full speed ahead. I was not going to let anything get in between me and my future. I would fight for it. And some girl is not going to get in the way of that, because this is what I'm supposed to do. We kept talking. I moved to Syracuse. You know what? You guys will hear the rest of this later. So I'll get into this later. But there were times where it was very difficult, but it only happened because God was in it. And I think if we tried to make it easier for ourselves by me not going away, it actually wouldn't have worked, and we would have had more of an unhealthy marriage, or maybe not even get married in the first place. Here's what I want you guys to get from this right now tonight. God had a purpose for me, but he also had a woman for me as well. If I chased the woman and made the woman the priority as opposed to the rest of God's purposes for me, I'm going to be honest, I think both would have likely fallen through. I'm certain I wouldn't be with Katie today. And I know that I wouldn't be here with you today either. I don't even know if I would be a pastor. If I focused so much on a relationship when there are other things that God had for me, I wouldn't be standing in front of you here today. If Katie and I started talking 3 to 4 months earlier, there's a chance I never would have even considered interviewing for a job that far away. I honestly think that if there was a difference of just a month with our timelines, it never would have worked. But God's timing was perfect. I was on my path doing what I was supposed to. She was on her path, and God wove it all together perfectly so that our paths converged at just the right time. God dropped my wife in my life when I least expected it. And so this is what I want to encourage you guys with now, and also, for the rest of your lives. Don't let a guy or a girl distract you from your purpose. And as teenagers, your purpose is to prepare for the future. That's your primary goal in life. By the way, you can work on the person that you're going to be so that you are the best husband or wife for your future spouse, because that can be part of your job too. Find what you're passionate about, believe that God is going to do in your life, and believe that if you want to be with somebody, he's going to bring someone beside you so that you can do what you love in life and also be with who you love as well. I've seen it time and time again. God has been faithful. When people try to make the relationship work and lift that up above what God wants, the relationship frequently fails, and frequently the best for them, that fails too.